Super Dave. This is Super Dave, Director of Training with Best Life Creation Society. Welcome. I hope you guys are having a great day. Happy to have you here. Um, it's going to be fun what we're talking about today. We're talking about the understanding of being comfortable, right? I mean, so often at times in personal development, there's this sort of exact opposite way, which is in order for you to be comfortable, you need to be uncomfortable. But let's think about that for a second, right? Let's really feel that out. In order for you to think that you need to be uncomfortable in order to be comfortable, that's like saying, okay, this food that you don't enjoy, I want you to go ahead and eat it. And even though you don't enjoy it, the second that you do enjoying it, then you'll feel good. Doesn't that sound forced? Doesn't that sound heavy handed? Doesn't that sound goofy? Well, because it is. It is goofy. It is heavy handed. It's about thinking that we need to do an action in order to feel good. But when we can come from the awareness and the knowingness that it's about feeling good, and by us beautifully feeling good, we are then inspired into action. Oh man, that, guys, is a totally different feeling. So we're going to expand on this today. Hi, Jen. I can see comments. Cool. This is cool. Trying it on Be Live. Hello, Marcia. Happy beautiful day to you. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, guys, it's about understanding um, that we're here to be comfortable with being comfortable. Um, and one of the places I see people tend to get stuck on this or sort of kind of hung up on this sort of idea, or we'll even call it a lighter way of just getting kind of sticky with this, is thinking that when they feel comfortable that the other shoe's going to drop. Here's what I mean by that. People have this idea that thinking that when we're feeling good, 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 that um, uh, things aren't bound to last, right? Here's a really common saying in society: waiting for the other shoe to drop, right? The good things don't last. Only the good die young. I mean, you hear all these goofy things. This too shall pass. All these kind of things. Guess what? They're just beliefs, and they're just typically streams of consciousness. Because when we, as beautiful spiritual beings living a physical experience. Consider that. We're not physical beings going through a spiritual experience. We're spiritual beings going through a physical experience. When we can tap into that energy, when we can feel and flow forward for ourselves what that is for us, oh man, then it gets to be so comfortable with feeling good, with being comfortable with being comfortable. But if we think that at some point the good won't last, at some point the good will end, at some point the good will dissipate or disappear or become less or diminish, well, then of course those sort of statements would ring true. But the only way that those statements would even ring true is if we didn't actually feel and believe and ideally know that we are unlimited in nature. So it's really important for us to just be able to feel and flow forward with this and be comfortable with being comfortable. And I think one of the best ways for us to learn how to be comfortable with being comfortable is a class that we just finished, myself and my lovely co-creator and our wonderful CEO of Best Life Creation Society, Jen Kazmarchek. We did a class called Getting Out Ahead of It, The Art of Segment Intending, because that's really what allows us to be comfortable with being comfortable. What I mean by that is that so many people go through life sort of kind of creating by default. They sort of just like, well, whatever happens, happens, man. Whatever it is that feels good, feels good. And hold on a second, Siri just tried to talk back to me. Gotta love it. Feeling comfortable, feeling comfortable. I think I said sure in it, so I thought I said Siri. So gotta love it. Never a dull moment. I'm gonna put that on silent and put that somewhere else, and that way if Siri does pop up again, all perfect. Um, but yeah, segment intending. It's the understanding of coming into each vibrational space of your day or of the area of your life, and being able to say, this is the vibration that I'm deliberately coming into with this, and just feeling and flowing forward with that. Because people think, well, like, yeah, I can feel good, but not all good things come to pass, and things that are good don't last, and all these kind of things. And guess what? Those are just beliefs. It's about knowing that everything happens as good Oh, I better read this. It's known that everything is good and we get out ahead of it, we are deliberately creating our life. Yeah, exactly, Jen. I mean, it's really about understanding that everything that happens because we're the deliberate creator. Oh, thank you, Marcia. Yeah, it was wonderful having you in class too. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Loved having your energy. You know, Marcia Mitty, right? What we were joking about in the last class because we were talking about a recommendation of The Power of Daydreaming, and there was a great movie that Ben Stiller did a few years ago called The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. I haven't seen it yet myself. I'm definitely planning on seeing it, so that way I can feel and flow forward with it myself as well. Um, but yeah, Jen, like you were saying, it's about knowing that everything is there, serves us, and everything that preceded us has served us as help us as well, as long as we allow it. And again, being comfortable with being comfortable, because when we come into the moment of being the deliberate creator, when we're in the beautiful present space of being the deliberate creator of our life, oh man, guys, that is so so fun, and it's so freeing to know that we get to create more and more with it. Yes, Marsha Mitty, right, Jen? Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, and I think another thing with understanding how to be comfortable being comfortable is to know that good feeling, it's not going to disappear. But how do we know that? Well, one of the other recommendations that we talked about in our class, and in most of our classes in Best Life, well, actually all of our classes in Best Life, is meditating. This lets you feel your connection. Because I can say this with such certainty: when you feel your own connection, when you feel your own deliberate awareness of who you truly are, when you're able to tap into who you truly are, oh, the freeingness that you feel around that, it's beautiful, you guys. Let's see, Jen says, contrast, let us choose what feels better to us. When we ask, it's always given. Yeah, exactly, Jen. Because anytime we experience any sort of contrast in life, the vibrational equivalency of what we desire has already been created. And how beautiful and perfect that is. So, yeah. Another thing that's really powerful with this, too, is, getting back to meditating, is it allows us to feel that connection within. And it's kind of like this. I know that you guys have gone through life and you've felt good. Well, isn't it fun to know that when we feel good and we know that that's what feels good to us, we can't not know what doesn't feel good. Yeah, take that in for a second. When you've discovered for yourself what feels good to you, you can't never not go back and go, well, no, no, that doesn't feel good. Because you have a knowingness. You have a knowingness of what feels good. And the same thing is with our connection with meditating. When you can feel your connection, you can't not know what that doesn't feel like anymore. You just know. You just know that's what that feels like. That's right. That's right. That's right. Notice I didn't say think. Notice I didn't say do. Notice I didn't say act. I said feel. You're able to feel that connection. And there's lots of beautiful ways to meditate, right? There's lots of beautiful things out there, lots of guided meditations. But the way that we sort of kind of recommend with Best Life is pretty in alignment with the way Abraham, which is, find yourself in a quiet space, whether you're laying down or sitting, and just focus on some sort of noise, right? Whether it's a noise that's in the house, whether it's some, maybe you have like some light music playing in the background, or just some light, maybe weather sounds or like sounds of an air conditioner or something along those lines. Anything to give the space of mind to focus on something that's not everything that's going on in your current day and everything like that. And what will happen through time and through deliberate, practice is that the mind will just focus on that and you'll just allow yourself to relax. And, for me with meditating, I used to only feel it as far as like sensation wise. I used to only feel like tingles in my toes. And now when I feel connected, I can feel chills throughout my whole body. I can feel them in my spine. I can feel them in my back. Even just right now, recollecting it, I can feel it, in my lower solar plexus region. I've been able to feel it in my face and in my hands. And it's never a sensation of something that doesn't feel good. It's just always in a space of what does feel good. Marsha's just saying, I just love meditating and the connection to our divine. Oh, me too, Marsha. Namaste. And I totally am with you. And I love feeling your energy too, Marsha, because it's so beautiful feeling your connection. Um, and that's what's so cool about this, guys, right? It's about our own individual connection. It's about our own beautiful individual alignment with everything. And really, again, being comfortable with being comfortable. About this understanding that, feeling good is not a race, it's not a competition. There's no rush energy on feeling good. You can feel good under any circumstance. Anytime you're experiencing any sort of contrast, you can always get into a space of feeling a little bit better. Well, guess what? That's getting into a space of feeling a little bit good. And I talked about this on our business class today in Best Life, but if you're feeling a little bit good and you're allowing yourself to feel a little bit good and you're allowing yourself to feel a little bit good and 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 a little bit good, how do you think you're going to feel? Probably really, really good because you allowed that beautiful, comfortable energy to wonderfully evolve and expand and grow. Momentum is just another synonym for law of attraction. Law of attraction states that which is like unto itself is drawn, right? Whatever we put our attention and focus on, we get more of. But guess what? It's the same thing with feeling good too. Whatever we're feeling good and really being honest with what we feel good with and allowing that and enjoying that, and then flowing forward into what's the next thing that feels good. By law of attraction, by momentum, will flow into what feels good next, and what feels good next, and what feels good next, and what feels good next. And I'll tell you something that's really awesome. When we're in a space of feeling really good and we have a lot of momentum built on it, guess what? Guess what? Even if contrast comes in, we're able to just flow forward so soothingly. And the way that we do that is by segment intending. Just like I said, it allows us to be comfortable with being comfortable. I'll give you an example of what this means. I had a moment where, what she's saying, I also enjoy Abraham's guided meditations. Oh, me too. Those are my go-to, Marcia. I love those. I think my two favorites are the general well-being meditation and the financial abundance meditation. But I love them all, and I've listened to them all. But to talk about what Marcia's referring to, if you go on YouTube, there's guided meditations. You also get it as a CD if you buy the book Getting into the Vortex, which I do have right here. This lovely book here. Yay! Highly recommend it. We highly recommend that book. But it's got guided meditations on general well-being, on physical well-being, on relationship well-being, financial well-being, and what did I miss? I think that's it. I think there's only 4. These are either 4 or 5. But yeah, I agree, Marcia. I think that those are wonderful guided meditations. But it's really about giving yourself a space to feel and flow forward. They autoplay every morning at 5 a.m. for me. Awesome, Jen. Yeah, that's brilliant. Yes, it's about being okay with where you are so you can easily flow forward. Yeah, exactly. Being comfortable with being comfortable. Um, like I said, it's not going anywhere. When we can be comfortable being comfortable, there's more, and there's more because it ties in with this foundational principle too, which I will say in the course of my life over a year and a half ago was very new to me, but now I feel very comfortable with it. And it's the understanding that we live with a foundation of freedom. Oftentimes in personal development, it's been trained with this idea that we live with a foundation of feeling good. But guess what? Sometimes we don't feel good. But we always have that foundation of freedom. What do I mean by that? I mean, we always have the foundation of the freedom to feel whatever we feel. So if we're not feeling good, we have the freedom to feel whatever we want to feel. And I'll be this direct in saying it. If you want to feel miserable, you're free. If you want to feel happy, you're free. If you want to feel sad, you're free. If you want to feel excited, you're free. You're free, you're free, you're free, you're free, you're free. But in that freedom, guess what comes with that? Our beautiful freedom to flow forward. That means that when we notice the contrast, we can recognize it and go, okay, not my preference, and flow forward. But also, too, if it's something that feels good, we can go, that feels good, flowing forward. And then just allow that energy to beautifully, wonderfully expand. So I'm going to pause, take a little drink here, see if you guys have any other comments, and then we'll just keep flowing forward, shall we? It's fun flowing forward in Colorado because it's a very dry state. That's why I always have lots of water. Because I know that it feels good to have a nice lubricated voice and body as opposed to not. So Yeah, it really is about being comfortable being comfortable. And the more that you're comfortable being comfortable, guess what creates more of? Being comfortable. I mean, it's so awesome. Oh, I never gave you the example. Yeah, so of pre-paving. So let me get back to it. So it's about saying that you're coming into the space with the vibration of what you're speaking about, right? So I basically, in addition to doing stuff I do with Best Life, I drive for Lyft. And I decided to go out that evening, and all I said was, "This is going to be a delightful co-creative experience." That's all I said. And as I drove out of my neighborhood, there was two bunnies, little rabbits, right in the middle of the road, like almost talking. There's, "Oh, hello, and yes, I'm a bunny," and, "Well, hello, yes, I'm a bunny too," and I'm in the middle of the road. There's no cars behind me. There's no cars in front of me, but my neighborhood tends to get lots of traffic, both directions, and people tend to park on the sidewalk. So there's a lot more limited space when you're driving down the road. But what was so perfect was there was no cars behind me, no cars in front of me, no kids, nobody else. And guess what? I was just able to just wonderfully gently kind of flicker my brights, right, my high beams on my car, and just to get the bunny's attention. And they looked at me, and then they looked back at themselves, and then they looked and they said, "Oh," and they just very gently hopped away. I just flowed forward. And here's what's so funny, but also so powerful about that. I didn't intend to have bunnies being in the middle of the road when I was driving. I didn't intend to have something slow down my progress of getting out of my neighborhood. But here's what I did intend: for a delightful, co created experience. And guys, I got exactly what I asked for. It was delightful. And I was in a good mood. I was in a good mood before I got in the car. I was aligned before I got in the car. I was aligned while I was driving towards the bunnies. I was aligned after the bunnies. I had to laugh and giggle and go, man, that feels good. It feels good to just be able to flow with everything in my life, including contrast. Because I know my preference is not to have bunnies when I'm driving in the middle of the road. And they know that it's probably not their preference to be in the middle of the road where there's cars. Oh boy, to just feel and flow forward with all of that. So, yeah. Jen says, our focus directs the expansion of our experience and the universe as a whole. I got to read that again because I had to squint to read that. Our focus directs the expansion of our experience and the universe as a whole. Yeah, exactly, Jen. It directed the ability to me to expand with that, because my focus wasn't on like, oh, geez, why are these bunnies here? Oh my God, really? No, I felt comfortable with the whole thing. And here's what's cool too, guys. When we're in that space, we also don't have to worry like, yeah, but what if other bunnies decide to have conversations in the middle of the road? Because that won't happen, right? Because that doesn't match the vibration of delight. That matches the vibration of worry. And if my focus was in a space of worry, that very well could happen. But I couldn't tell you the last time I was even in a space of worried vibration. I've been able now to just be in a space of, when I recognize the contrast, just that, recognize the contrast, acknowledge it, and allow myself to flow forward. So yeah, that's what I'm feeling with all of this. I just encourage you guys to all just be in a space of allowing yourself to be comfortable with what you are comfortable with. um Thank you, my dear. Have a beautiful day too. I'm not sure if that's to Jen or to me, but and I don't know how to pronounce your name. Is it Vakala? Valaka? Wow, I'm really bad butchering the name. So, but thank you for that beautiful comment. I don't know how to pronounce that name, but hi, welcome. Um, Glad you're here, and whether that's to Jen or to me, you're welcome. And yeah, we're just always in this beautiful space of feeling and flowing forward. So just allow that for yourselves, guys, and just recognize that the perfect place to flow forward is right here, right now. Don't need to look back to figure out how to flow forward. Don't need to try to take a breath 5 minutes ago, as Jen says. We don't need to go and re-eat breakfast, right? We already ate breakfast, or we already ate our most previous meal. We can just flow forward. So just allow yourself to flow forward. And I think this is the perfect way to kind of wrap up this Facebook Live. It says, yes, everything in our universe is always in a state of flowing forward. becoming more. Yep, Jen said it so beautifully and perfectly. So with that, you guys, I'm going to end off on this beautiful Facebook Live. If you're on YouTube, feel free to subscribe to us. You can also follow us on Instagram. And make sure you click the little bell notification if you are watching this on YouTube, so that way you'll know when we upload. We upload all the time, almost every day. And yeah, just allow yourself to feel good and enjoy your life. You're here to really live your best life. So until we speak again, this is Super Dave, Director of Training with Best Life Creation Society, signing off and saying, may you continue to live, feel, and be your best life with Best Life. Love you guys. Mwah.